Rome. Julius thought that Devarius was upset with him, and when he saw him in the street, he caught up with him and said, Devarius, am I right to think that I'd have upset you about something? Julius, I told you, I'm glad that you have found your happiness. I just want to ask you to remember the place where we met. Julius came up to Devarius and hugged him. Devarius, I'm not a prophet, but I want to ask you to keep yourself safe. No one loves you more than I do. Life is hard enough, and right at this moment, I think that those fiery chariots appear in the sky for a reason. Julius, you know what I think about those chariots. I don't know, maybe someday I'll change my mind about them. My brother, don't be upset with me. This is just my opinion, and I'm going to stick with that for the time being. Devarius thought to himself, why don't I believe in all of this? I think that life and death are like a single line, and this line has sort of a gap during which we can just enjoy what we have at the moment. All right, Julius, I have to go now. Julius was looking at him walking away and thought, you're one beautiful person, Devarius. Natalie came out of the house and approached Jules. She looked at him and said, why are you crying? My dear, these are not tears of sorrow, but joy. Devarius is very dear to my heart, as well as you are. Julius, let's go inside. Yes, of course. Let's go in. I know that he's going to keep us in his thoughts, as shall we. The River Jordan. A huge crowd gathered around John. He was delivering a sermon about the kingdom of heaven. People were listening to him and crying, for his sermon was very eloquent. His words sounded like some kind of a song of God. Alexander looked at Constantine and saw that he was crying too. What's wrong, Constantine? You see, Alexander, I'm beginning to understand that John is not of this earth with every passing minute. Well, let us go to him then. Peace be unto you, John. Peace be unto you. I thought you two went back to Rome. We decided to stay here for a few days and listen to you. We liked your sermon very much. Tell me, are you feeling better about my baptism? Please tell your brother to turn that down because the sound can pick it up. Yes, much better. We'd like you to repeat it several times, if it is possible, of course. Tell him we feel like we won't see you again. All right, I'll baptize you two again. Having spent 3 days with John, Constantine, and Alexander, not only were cleansed of all of their sins, but were healed physically too. Alexander said, John, you're a miracle worker. We shall always remember you, though. I think that we shall never see you again. Be with God on this earth as we can do. Wish you good luck with your holy mission. If you don't mind, we'd like to hug and kiss you. Constantine started crying. All right, John, we've got to go now. John was watching them going away. He was very pleased to see people like them that chose the right path, following the will of God. John thought, goodbye, sirs. I'm very pleased with you. The whole clergy gathered up in Jerusalem. Synagogues were full of people. Everyone was talking about the same thing and repeating the same name, John the Baptist. Though people had different opinions about the man, some were calling him a demon or a devil born amongst us. Others wanted to kill or execute him, for he has no place among them. His father was a bishop. What on earth his son thinks of himself? We, the clergy, worship and praise idols. They are our gods. Why should we believe this false prophet? The synagogue was buzzing and seething with tensions flying in the air. Suddenly, one man stood up. He looked very young. He walked around everyone and looked in the eyes of each and everyone. Then he said, if you don't believe in the forerunner, then you should leave his holy place, for it can no longer hold your thoughts. You should leave this place. Everyone started laughing. Just look at him. He's an idiot, a lunatic. No, I'm not an idiot. I'm just an ordinary man named Axes. And I know for sure that if it weren't for Moses, we wouldn't be living on this land. Believe me, that Moses was once like John, the forerunner, a child both of heaven and earth. Someone yelled, people, just look at this demon. He deserves death, for he is from the devil. Achaz kneeled down and said, my brothers, I'm not a demon, though I believe there are God-men among us, and they deserve to be called like that, though we usually want them dead. People, we should kill him. Let's stone him. Achaz raised his right hand up to heaven. Everyone, listen to me. You can stone me at any minute, and I'm not afraid to die. But believe me, Achaz was dragged out of the synagogue. People, what are you doing? Stones hailed at him, one after the other. Oh Lord, please help me. Achaz's soul left his body. Achaz, go ahead and enter. Don't be afraid. I'll help you. You'll see. Where am I? You're in the kingdom of heaven. Don't be afraid. Go through the heavenly gates. Oh Lord, my eyes can't get used to this bright light. It's blinding me. Achaz, you're of my creation and should not be afraid of this light. Go ahead and enter it Achaz looked around. Dear Lord, it's so unusual for me, but I'll make the first step. Go ahead. Go ahead. Oh Lord, what is that? My child, it is the kingdom of heaven, and I am the king of this great space. So get used to all of this. Lord, I'm afraid I won't be able to. My dear child, you'll get used to it. I promise. According to Andrew, the first called. My first teacher, John the Baptist, was representing the truth of God. His teachings were everything to me. Though he was still young, he had an impulse from God to bring all of us towards the belief into the heavenly kingdom. It's tough to describe him. He performed miracles and we saw him do that, but not all of them. In other words, the forerunner was the source power for both our souls and our bodies too. I remember the first time he was beaten in Jerusalem. I cry every time. Every time I recollect that horrendous accident. He was screaming from inflicted pain, but he stood up and he said, I'm appalled to hear words like that. All of you shall perish, and then you shall praise me. Remember this. People usually beat up and humiliate those that tell the truth. I'm of sound mind at the moment, and that's why I forgive all of you. And he really did forgive them all. His soul was rejoicing, seeing all of his kindness. But evil forces were always nearby, trying to find a reason to destroy him. And such a reason was found eventually, though evil made us only stronger by destroying him. We felt so sorry about John, but all of his disciples knew that his soul would find peace in the kingdom of the Almighty. We also knew that we were destined to meet the true God, and we were happy because our souls were prepared for that encounter. Our souls were fully prepared, and we felt some kind of lightness because of that. I personally was praising his name in every place I visited. It was delightful to see an intelligent human being that believed in him and everything of God. It was very disappointing to see lunatics that were trying to drag his name through the mud. Though, I must say, there were more good people on our path of life. I shivered violently when I saw his beheaded body. At first, I was afraid, but then I heard my soul talking to me. Don't be afraid, Andrew. Please look at this beheaded body and remember the following for the rest of your life. The Almighty sees all of your suffering and pain, and he shall reward you with his love for that. I shivered again hearing those words and thought, it means that something truly awful awaits us in the future. I decided that I'll do everything for the sake of God and endure all pain and suffering for everything holy, for all the people to live well after us. I saw the future with my inner sight. I saw good and bad, though it was more pleasant to see the good, of course. Once in Capernaum, right after Jesus' crucifixion, an old woman came to me and asked, "You're still very young, and yet you talk about God? Do you believe in his existence?" I looked at her straight in her eyes and said, "Not only do I believe in him, but I was staying next to him for years and talking to him like I'm talking with you right now. Aren't you mentally ill by any chance?" "No, woman. I'm the healthiest person there is, and I'm obliged to cure all of you sick ones." She laughed and said, "Well, you can try and cure everyone, though you're still very young for that." "Woman, my power is in my soul and not in my age. Yes, I can see you standing in front of me, but I can't see your soul as well as your Lord Almighty." I was confused for a moment and didn't know how to respond to that. Then I heard my soul talking to me and through me. "Woman, you need to look for your soul and look for God within you, because you're a mother that provides the procreation of offspring of God. And once you feel your inner power and warmth spreading throughout your body, then you'll understand everything and say, 'Yes, I can truly feel inside me something like I've never felt before.'" She smiled again and said, "Well, I'll try." Then she left. "Thank you, my Lord. I think I've managed to persuade and over-persuade her." 2 years passed. I was in Jerusalem on Easter. The city was buzzing with all kinds of sounds, and huge crowds of people filled its streets. I looked at the cheerful face of locals and felt cheerful, for I loved that holiday. One woman approached me and said, "Oh Lord, woman, I'm not him. I'm just the anointed one." "No, you are God. I just want you to remember me." Yes, I remember you. You're from Capernaum, right?" "Yes, I am. But what is your name?" "Suzanne." "Well, Suzanne, how can I help you?" "You see, Andrew, I remembered your name as well as every word you said to me that day we met. I felt all that you were told about me, and I decided to find you and help you. I think it is very rewarding to teach narrow-minded and lost people." "That is very good, Suzanne. You can start by preaching in Capernaum. Start by preaching the truth among women. But be careful, because some people don't like someone like us, and they can try to harm us any way they can." "All right, I understand. Then I wish you good luck and be healthy. She went her way smiling, and that smile was already different, for it was coming from her heart. We saw a lot of kind smiles like hers as a result of our deeds, and we rejoiced like little children seeing them. These warm smiles were for us like signs of the presence from our teacher, both of our teachers, St. John the Baptist and Jesus Christ. Andrew, the first called, the man of power. Zor, little. A small town, Zor, was situated in the Kirik Valley. There were not so many people living in that place. Everyone knew one another, and everyone was probably related to each other to some degree too. The majority of the population was of Arabic descent, with a minority represented by the Jews. The city had a very favorable location, not far from the Dead Sea. Most of the residents were fishermen, and the rest were shepherds and potters. People were living a quiet and peaceful life, and had no quarrels with anyone. No one was wondering about God or knew anything about him. People were just living their everyday lives as the rest of people on earth. They felt the warmth of the sun and saw rain falling down on the ground, hot winds blowing, and the sea was giving them fish to feed themselves. But God was the one that gave them life. The Dead Sea, salty, stone, gray. The waves rocked a small fishing boat. Its sails were flying in the wind. There were 4 fishermen in the boat. It was a quiet night. The moon was shining and the bright stars were twinkling in the night sky as if they were playing with each other. Fishers liked to look at the starry night sky. Then one of the fishermen named Ophir shrugged and yelled, brothers, look, over there. Mesaluma, you're looking the wrong way. Yes, Ophir, I see it now too, though it can't be. Have stars started to fall down from the sky? Darda, Parman, wake up and look up. Something is flying in the skies. It looks like a fiery bird. Oh, no, let's row faster to the shore. The little boat has never sailed that fast on the sea. They couldn't understand how they ended up on the coast that fast. Darda said to them, my brothers, let's sit down and rest. I think all my strength gave out all at once. They dropped on the sandy ground out of fear and fatigue. Mesaluma, can you explain what we just all saw there? Parman, if I knew myself what kind of bird that was, then we wouldn't have been rowing that fast to the shore. Everyone laughed. If it was flying and shining, then someone meant to do so. And though we were scared, the bird looked very pretty indeed. I'd like to look at it without fear again. Oh no, Darda. I think that one time was quite enough for us. Let's have some rest for tomorrow. We shall have a lot of work to do. We haven't caught much today except a fright or two. They went to sleep right there on that sandy beach with wine sacks under their heads. The moon and stars were still shining at that time. Suddenly, one bright flash appeared in the sky. It lighted up the sky in an instant. Though tired fishers didn't notice it, for they were soundly asleep. That heavenly spear of light was flying closer and closer to the ground. A breeze sprang up, and that fiery bird finally touched to the ground. 2 passengers came out of it. They quietly came up to one of the fishermen, looked at him, and smiled at each other. Horace, let's not disturb them for now. The time for them to know about us hasn't come yet. No, Emmanuel, they have to know that they aren't alone in this universe. Wake up, my dear sirs. Darda opened his eyes first and then opened his mouth to say something, but only managed to utter The others woke up when they heard him. 4 men were trying to say something at that point, but couldn't. Peace be unto you. Please calm down. Emmanuel, please help them to calm down. Emma looked at all 4 fishermen, and they calmed down in an instant. Peace be unto you. Peace be unto you, but who are you? Well, people just like you, but we've come from heaven. Have you fallen down from up there? No, we just laughed. We just landed. Are you some kind of a bird? No, we're human. Why are your clothes shiny then? You wouldn't understand it yet. How did you end up here? We've arrived here in our vessel. Horace laughed. We got tired and we decided to have some rest on the sea beach. And where is that boat of yours? Horace laughed. You'll have to stand up and look over there. Oh. Oh. They opened their mouths in awe. Now, you need to calm down. Emma, help me help them to calm down again. Please, please, everyone, calm down. Can we walk closer to your vessel? Well, go ahead. They walked slowly to the hissing, fiery bird. Everyone, stand still. You can't get any closer because it is highly radioactive. Horace, don't say anything, for they aren't. Offer, what happened? What? Offer, what, Darda? Are we still dreaming? Of course we are. Slap me hard, please. Offer slapped Darda as hard as he possibly could, and Darda fell onto the ground. Hey! Don't worry, Darda. This is just a dream. Fishermen were just standing there looking at this unbelievable miracle. Emma, we have to go now, do something, and make them believe that it was all a dream. All right, I got it. Come here, brothers. We have to leave now, and you should lie down and have some rest. Fishers lay down and closed their eyes. Sea sand was drifting around the heavenly sphere. Soon it disappeared from the beach. Brothers, just look at those waves. I think we'd better go back home for today. Miss Shalomlen, come, look, here. Look. Look, does sand on this spot look normal to you? I don't know. What's happening to it? What happened to it, Parman? Wait a second, everyone. Does anyone remember anything from their dream? Fishers paused to think about it. I remember that Offer slapped me, and it still hurts. Brothers, whether everything was real and to a dream, let's hurry and get back home. Upon their return, they were surrounded by a lot of people. Tell us, were you fishing last night? Did you see anything in the sky? We saw something, but we thought that was a dream. Parman said to Offer, I'm going to leave you for Jerusalem today. Do you want to come with me, though? Why have you suddenly decided to go there? You see, I don't think what we saw was a dream. I also think that participants need to hear about all of this and hear their thoughts on the matter. It seems like that event from last night shall be keeping me up for the days of my life. All the rest of my life. My father used to tell me that there were people that lived somewhere in the skies. Last night, I saw the proof of that. Parman, I thought there was a dream. No, if it was a dream, then what happened? Did the people in Zor witness last night? I guess you're right. Let's pack our things. We can sail to Hebron in our boat. And then we can go to Jerusalem. Well, on foot. Well, then, it's settled then. I'll be waiting for you on the shore. Dear readers, we will pause and we will stop there. We will resume play yet another day, another time, in the book entitled The Sacraments of Eternity. Until next time, dear readers, Be well. Take care of yourselves, and if you can, take care of one another. Until next time, again, I thank you. Be well. Take care. And God bless.